On Sunday, One Nation senators and the member for Kennedy were the only members in this parliament who defied the far left and the mainstream media to stand with many thousands of Australians protesting mass migration. Yesterday, the hateful Greens tried to force the Senate to condemn these everyday Australians for marching under their national flag.
Just resume your seat, please. On a point of order, Senator McKim.
Thanks very much, Acting Deputy President. The point of order is relevant. Senator Faruqi needs to mount an argument as to why standing orders should be suspended. That is the motion she has put, and in fact she is not mounting that kind of an argument. She's engaging in a political attack which is not relevant to the question before the chair.
I would think on the surface, Senator McKim, that these speeches are always wide-ranging, but I will give Senator Hanson the opportunity to continue and monitor. Senator Hanson.
Thank you very much. Yes, wanting to shut down the voice for Australians because the thousands of Australians that were in unison together to stand up for their flag, their country and against mass migration. And the motion that was moved yesterday was disgraceful. They claimed these Australians were led by neo-Nazis and far-right extremists. They claimed these peaceful demonstrations were rampages and even claimed that the country will never be safe unless these everyday, normal, ordinary Australians were forced forever silence. I don't think anything illustrates the hypocrisy and ignorance of the hateful Greens better than their motion. They fall over themselves to encourage and attend protests in support of Middle Eastern terrorism.
Senator Hanson, I will ask you to resume your seat. Senator McKim on a point of order.
Thank you. A point of order on two matters. Firstly, once again, on relevance. Senator Hanson is not addressing urgency and whether or not the standing orders should be suspended. Secondly, Standing Order 193.3, which prevents personal reflection on other members of this chamber. Senator Hanson is clearly in breach of that standing order.
Senator McKim, just to address your point of order, I don't see a problem, but what I will do for you is I'll consult the clerk. Thank you. Senator Hanson, you do have the call, but I would just let you know that if we dig a bit deeper and reflect on senators, then I will have to address that. Senator Hanson.
Thank you very much, but I never named anyone.
No, you
didn't. See, the whole fact is, it hurts when you actually call them out. And reflecting on the last comments, Senator McKim was quite happy to have, or the Greens are constantly having to go at One Nation all the time. But the whole fact is they're very concerned about this. They're delighted to join calls for the destruction of Israel. They deliberately ignore how these ugly, violent protests target Jewish Australians and have led directly to rising anti-Semitism in the country. And that's because they're supporting this disgusting agenda. When Australians exercise their rights to express their opposition to the Greens' radical far-left agenda, as they did yesterday, the Greens play the victim. It's because the Greens despise the very freedoms that Australians exercised on Sunday and want those freedoms taken away from the Australian people.
Sorry, Senator Hanson, I will ask you to resume your seat. Senator McKim on a point of order.
Thank you, President. Again, it's 193.3 on reflecting on other members. You were very clear in your direction that you gave to Senator Hanson, saying that if she continued to do that, you'd need to pull her up. Well, she is continuing to do that, and I invite you to pull her up.
Senator McKim, I did listen intently to Senator Hanson, and I heard her refer to a political party. I didn't hear any senators that were named. And sitting in this chair for many times, I've heard many senators reflect on parties in this chamber without actually attacking personally a senator. Senator McKim, I don't see a point of order, but I will give Senator Hanson the call. Senator Hanson.
Thank you very much. Well, again, it's all right to have a go at the Labor Party over the climate change and mention Labor Party, but you don't like to cop it back. And the fact is, why I'm saying this is that all the leaders of the political party had their say yesterday with regards to the Senator Faruqi's notice motion yesterday, but I was denied that right. I was denied the right because you shut it down. They purposely did it. And that's why I'm going to have my say today on behalf of the Australian people. And you're only doing it all the time just to run down the time, through you, the chair, because Senator McKim doesn't want me to get my message out to the Australian people. So they're using this all the time to shut down my time of having saying what I need to say.
Senator Hanson, I will ask you to resume your seat. And Senator McKim on a point of order.
193.3, Senator Hanson A has directly named me. Secondly, she has impugned a motive to my actions which is untrue, and I ask you to require her to withdraw that.
Senator McKim, once again, I don't see the issue you are raising, and you are, like myself, a long-time warrior in this chamber who have quite often good debates across the chamber. I didn't see anything, or didn't hear anything, I should say, from Senator Hanson that I thought would be out of order. I will go back to Senator Hanson to give her the call, and I just say that she has 2 minutes and 16 seconds left, so it's not long now. Senator Hanson.
Thank you. Well, it's horrifying how it must have been seen to them to see so many Australian flags on display yesterday in support of a strong, united nation. And the hateful Greens are deliberately misinforming and misrepresenting the Australians who marched peacefully on Sunday, and they have a goal to insult Australians standing for Australia. They've dragged out all of the usual tropes and insults to marginalise and dismiss people who love their country and who don't support the Marxist anti-Australian agenda being forced on them without their consent. Australians are still free to oppose the Greens and their radical agenda. Australians are still free to oppose Labor's record immigration, driving them into homelessness. Australians are still free to oppose multiculturalism and demand a society that is cohesive and unified. Australians are still free to fly their national flag, and I encourage them, put it out there. And however, I've heard the Australian Defence Force strongly discourage serving members from marching under that flag on Sunday. They're asked to fight under it, but discouraged from marching with it. The Greens just hate the Australians have these freedoms, so they lash out in hatred at people who exercise them. One Nation senators were proud to stand with ordinary Australians who have been silenced and disenfranchised and who just want to be heard and represented. The majority of Australians don't want Labor's record high level of immigration. I hope you realise that. They see the rents going up, the longer lines to inspect rentals, and they see the Australians forced to live in tents and cars on the streets. They see the protests in support of terrorism, and they see the Greens encouraging them. They see the good values which built and defended this nation being eroded before their eyes. They see the very character and identity of Australia being perverted. We want our country back. They want their country back. And as they said to me yesterday, and I was so proud to see that at least a member of parliament actually turned up. Not by myself. I was accompanied by Senator Roberts and Senator Tyrone Whitten, who actually accompanied me. And the Australian people were so proud to see that we took the time. The others didn't turn up because, you know what? They know how much they hate you because of the policies you're imposing on them.
Senator Hanson, your time has expired.